Welcome, everybody, to Toastmaster Tuesday. Megan, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Okay. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Let's do it. I don't have my, hold on. Got my
You're gonna have to
stick
give me
with
some
the,
cute sister stick.
yeah, my stick with the thumbs up thing on it. I'll have to grab it. Okay, cool. And you're going to do the first, you're going into new territory here. 5 minutes. You ready for this?
Oh my God. Okay. What am I talking about again?
Oh, yeah, I guess I should let you know about that, shouldn't I? Yeah, so it's going to be acceptance versus resistance, how you developed a relationship of the duality of, of rigidity versus flexibility
Okie doke.
in relation to, in the context of motherhood, of course.
Mm.
Yeah, get as specific as I can, and then make you do even longer than we usually do. Yes.
Yeah, rude.
Yeah, right. What a host I am, eh? Okay, so I got the 5-minute timer. I do need to grab my stick with the thumbs up because it's tradition. One sec.
Okay. Nice.
Okay, so anybody that has joined for the first time for Toastmaster Tuesday and is not familiar with Toastmasters in general, Megan's going to do an impromptu speech on the topic we just discussed. I am the timer person, and so I give her the emojicon. Whoa, emojicon! What? Come on now, what's going on? There it is.
There we go.
Yeah, when you're at the 2-minute 30-second mark, and then I give it to you when you have 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Okay. So the halfway point, you're halfway, and then 30 seconds left. Boom. And then bonus points if you can get like right up to the 5 minutes, of course. So
I don't know. I'll try. I'll do my best.
Okay, here we go. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Yep.
5 minutes starts now.
So for those of you who don't know a bit about my background story, I gave birth to twins in 2019. And soon after that, started having symptoms of postpartum depression and anxiety. And a lot of that came about unbeknownst to me, but through some continued work, because I really grieved the process in which they arrived here. So they came via emergency C-section, and that was not my plan. My plan was very specific. My whole life has been quite specific, quite to the T of what I was hoping or planning for or working towards. And although I knew it was likely they would come via C-section, I never expected it to be via emergency C-section. And they had a NICU stay and a couple minor health complications. I didn't get to see them right away after they were born. So a lot of factors played into my really grieving the process of how they arrived. Once they came home, being a new mom, I had to adjust to motherhood, and not just with one baby, but with 2 babies. And so I had a steep learning curve. And I was told during my post or prenatal phase that a schedule was important. So I thought to myself, well, this is perfect because I am the master of schedules. Of course, I will keep them on a schedule. But for anyone who is a mom or who has been around babies, you would know that babies don't care very much about your schedule. They have their own idea of when they want to sleep and eat and need their diaper changed and all that kind of fun stuff. So I had a really hard time adjusting to those things that popped up unplanned, whether that meant that they just weren't napping or they wanted to eat when I had just fed them 20 minutes prior. And a lot of frustration started to bubble up for me. So as I worked towards recognizing that my frustration was not getting me to the point that I wanted to be at in my motherhood journey, it was not helping me create the relationship I wanted with my children, I had to take steps to really correct that. And the first thing that I was told through my own counseling journey was that I had to work on being flexible. I had to work on accepting those days when it didn't go to plan and start to make sort of an alternate plan. How was I going to plan to the best of my ability, but be okay if things didn't go exactly to a T? Now, with any new change, I had to creep into that slowly. I'm not someone that I would say enjoys change. I don't actively seek out change. So I had to think to myself, okay, if I'm going to incorporate this kind of new way of approaching motherhood, which was not what I was envisioning for myself, what's the way in which I can do this that's maybe the least painful? So I picked morning times to start incorporating being a bit more flexible. Mornings tended to be a bit calmer in the house for us. I was alone in the house in the mornings, which I actually appreciated. So I could just kind of get into a groove by myself. And I knew that things would go fairly decently up until about noon. So I had to write down some plan B options about how I was going to be able to shift my focus if things didn't go to plan and work on becoming flexible. When I talk about becoming flexible, I also like to talk about acceptance around that, because it's one thing to say that I want to be more flexible, but if it's not truly what you envision for yourself, it can be hard to get there. So I had to really start to look at the triggers that were preventing me from being flexible, and then where I wanted to be. Where did I see myself being as a mom, or where did I see myself creating connection with my children, which was my goal? How was I going to develop this relationship with these new people? And how was I going to get there? So another way in which I felt that I could get there was by creating some time for myself, because that aligned with my core values and I really needed that alone time. And so I knew that not getting that alone time was the trigger for me being able to accept being flexible, because if I knew they were going to nap at noon, then I could get that alone time. So I started talking to my husband, talking to my family members that were in my house about how I was going to carve out that alone time for myself in amongst the day and not just when the girls were napping, so that then it made it that much easier for me to be flexible in those moments where I thought some of that time was being taken away from me, as opposed to having to be so frustrated with the plan B. I think I'm coming up to time, aren't I? Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
That was hard.
that
Jeez
was
Louise.
that was good. That was great though. It was like
Gosh.
5:03. Like if you
Probably
had
could have
finished,
talked for 10 minutes about that, because there's
yeah,
like so many things that I did, but yeah.
that's awesome. No, very good job. And yeah, 5 minutes. Yeah, I could see where that would be very tricky. So, what was your mindset going in? Like, were you, because you had sort of the duality? Did you speak like as soon as you saw the 2.5? Okay, now I'll switch over to,
Pretty
or were you
much, yeah.
just
I was like, now
okay?
I have to switch over to like how I got there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
oh God, oh
yeah.
God.
Oh my God. No,
Like so
awesome.
stressful to see like a little tiny thumbs up.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be so traumatized by that.
No, now whenever you see it in like your emojicon, like in your text
Yes.
message, you're like, oh my God, gotta wrap this up quick.
Wrap it
Yeah.
up, wrap it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. No, great work. That was really good. That was really good. Yeah. And some good stuff. And honestly, it felt like you naturally wrapped it up. I don't think I'm sure you could have another couple sentences in there, but
well, it's like you're trying to talk and then like plan about what you're gonna say when you give
yeah.
me a topic last minute. But
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Which
if I
is
had
kind
more
of the thing.
time, I would have talked about how I think, acceptance and surrender are like the same thing.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. Let's talk a bit about that. So surrender, acceptance. Because I always see like surrender in, like the line of work that I do with like recovery. It's like a big part of the 12-step program is like surrender to a higher power, realizing that you don't have control over your life, specifically to this
Mm.
addiction. So it's
Mm.
like a surrender. And then, okay. Yeah, it's interesting. I kind of curious to see what like the definitions of them are. I can see what you mean by
Yeah,
that
because
for
I
sure.
had to, same thing. Like I had to surrender to the fact that like I can't control my kids. I can't make them sleep on demand.
Right. Yeah.
And then I had to like really fully accept that, because when the acceptance comes into play, it's like then you just stop resisting it.
Yes.
It becomes more like of a habit for you where the thing pops up and you're like, oh yeah, I know I can't control this. And so we're just going to move forward.
Yeah. Right. Right. Here, check this out. This is the worst. Like Webster did not do a good job on this one.
Oh, no.
Surrender. The definition: the action of surrendering. Thanks for
Thank
that.
you for that.
Yeah. So that cleared. Yeah. What is the real? Oh, here we go. What is the real meaning of surrender? To yield. Okay, this is much better. To yield to the power, control, or possession. Okay. Oh, yeah. No, never mind. I was going to cut myself off. To yield to the power, control, or possession of another upon compulsion or demand. That's more of like a wartime surrender.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what about this one? 2A. To give oneself up to the, no, again, prisoner. No. Interesting. This isn't the
That's
kind
not
of type of
that's
surrender
not
we're
what I was
talking.
going for. I
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
say that I feel like obviously the word surrender maybe has a bit more of a negative connotation than
Yeah. It sure
acceptance.
does. It
But
sure
that's where
does.
I actually like to use the word surrender because I want to normalize it for people that
Yeah.
it's not a negative word. For me, when I say surrender, I feel like elated by that. I feel
Mm.
so free when I say like I just surrendered to it. Like all that frustration and feelings of burden honestly leave my body when I just say like I'm just surrendering to this moment.
So when you have that moment of surrender, it's actually like
It's like
allowing the energy to like move through you
yeah, it's
instead of
like
like
so
holding on to it.
freeing.
Yeah. 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 It's
I
freeing.
used to get so anxious saying like I don't have any control over this. Now I'm like I don't have any control over this and I love it and
Yeah.
whatever. Like
Yeah.
don't even give it any energy.
And so it's kind of in the same vein as like the control what you can control. And then otherwise it's kind of like, hey, hands off. It's not for me
Mhm.
to meddle with or to micromanage because it's yeah. So no, I like that. Yeah, that's cool. That's a good yeah, take on it. I like it. Wicked job on Toastmaster Tuesday. We're going to continue our Mother's Day week with me just putting Megan on the spot. Let's face it. Actually, no, the next one's a little more interactive. It's going to be the What If Wednesday. So we'll see you all tomorrow for What If Wednesday. Thanks, Megan.
Nice. Thank you. See ya.